High-intensity workouts are making you fat. Number 3, high-intensity exercise causes you to eat more food. Like, way more food. Clinical studies have shown that people who participate in high-intensity activities eat way more food throughout the rest of the day, and their cravings go through the roof.
This is part 3 of why exercise is making you fat. The claim here is that clinical studies show that exercise significantly increases your appetite and increases your food intake. So what does the research actually say? This one, looking at the acute and chronic effects of exercise on appetite, finds support that exercise is a strategy for inducing short-term energy deficits, meaning exercise typically makes it less difficult to stay in a caloric deficit. One of the reasons exercise makes a caloric deficit easier is it because it alters the amount of appetite-suppressing and appetite-stimulating compounds in the body. Exercise suppresses orexigenic hormones, or hormones that make us hungry, and increases satiety hormones. Even in obese diabetic subjects, training reduces ghrelin, which is a hormone that stimulates our appetite. It also increases GLP-1, which is the hormone that the new diabetic medications such as Ozempic and Wegovy are mimicking, and why they have such an appetite-suppressive effect. And a meta-analysis actually demonstrated that training suppresses appetite compared to no exercise. And they mentioned that high-intensity and sprint interval training suppress hunger to a greater extent than moderate-intensity cardiovascular training. With that being said, I actually want to bring up a mechanism by which high-intensity training may actually be superior to moderate-intensity training when it comes to appetite suppression. And this all comes down to the production of lactate. The higher intensity of an exercise session, the more lactate we will produce. And a recent study found that an exercise-inducible metabolite suppresses feeding and obesity. And this metabolite is referred to as LAC-Phe, or lactoylphenylalanine. And one of the molecules required for the production of LAC-Phe is lactate. And this compound is extremely potent for reducing appetite. Injecting this compound into mice drastically reduces their appetite. And mice who lack the receptor for this compound do not see the same appetite suppressive effects of injection or of exercise. And importantly, sprint exercise induces the most dramatic elevation of plasma LAC-Phe in humans, which is why many people oftentimes report that they have very suppressed appetite after a high-intensity training session. With that being said, obviously hunger and appetite are extremely individual. If you find that high-intensity exercise drastically increases your appetite, but lower-intensity exercise does not have the same effect, then by all means do lower-intensity exercise. However, when actually looking at the appetite-promoting or suppressive effects of exercise, high-intensity training appears to have an appetite-suppressive effect in the majority of individuals. With that being said, I hope you enjoyed this series. And if you want to learn how to take control of your health and energy, send me a DM to sign up for coaching.